I am 35, found a condom wrapper in my wife's 34F car. Now what? We have been together for about 10 years and married for 6. We have no kids now, but we were planning to start trying pretty much now. We are both very active, going to the gym, eating healthy, and are both in relatively great shape. My wife is gorgeous with a phenomenal body, but I would probably consider myself maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10 on the attractiveness scale. I realize that. But we have always had a really strong relationship. We started as great friends, realized we were just right for each other, and that developed into true romantic love and devotion. The sex was always fantastic. There were never any issues there with quality or frequency. I was washing my wife's car, as I do pretty often. In the course of cleaning the interior, I found an open empty condom wrapper under her passenger seat. We don't use condoms since she had always been on birth control. I am driving myself insane with all the stories and scenarios running through my brain. She spends a lot of time at the gym working with weights and doing her cardio. Like 3 hours 4 days a week, so there are frequent times when we are apart. She has never given me a reason to suspect she has been unfaithful. I know I have to confront her, but I'm scared to death of what might be the truth. She is my world and I can't imagine starting a family with anyone else. I'm afraid I'm going to break. Edit to add. Wow, you all are amazing. I'm so touched by the DMs and heartfelt responses. I had no idea I would get so many responses so quickly. I wanted to add some details to save me from having to reply to all the common comments. My wife has never given me a reason to think she has cheated before this. She has always been loving and affectionate, and we were looking forward to starting a family very soon. Some have speculated that kids coming soon may have led her to one last fling? I don't know. Possibly. We are an open book to each other with our finances pretty much entirely tied up as one. She comes from a pretty upper middle class background. Her parents are very comfortable. I come from a home where my parents were fighting their own demons, and so I didn't get a lot of attention growing up. Not a criticism, it was easy to get lost in the shuffle of my parents' problems. We are cordial but not super close. I am way closer to her family and I love her mom and dad and younger sister. Financially we are fine. Together we make about $150,000 per year. She makes $60,000 as a law firm assistant. I make $90,000 as an auto technician. We own a house together that we were able to purchase with a down payment from her family. If worst comes to worst, I have no interest in fighting for that money. It is theirs and they can have it back if we end up selling the house. Some have commented about the amount of time she is at the gym. We go to separate gyms. She gets off work at 4 and goes straight to the gym where she does a class, then works out with weights and the cardio on the treadmill. I was never suspicious of the time she spends there. By the time she gets home, I am already there and she jumps directly in the shower, and then we make dinner together and hang out. As far as a lawyer or an investigator, there's no way I could do that in secret with the way we manage our finances, so that's out for now. Someone explained to me how to get detailed phone records from Visible, so that's my next step. I will get the records when I have some time to myself and see if there is a number that she's in contact with a lot that I do recognize. I'll try to figure out where to go from there and let you all know. Let's read some relevant comments before start update. First comment was, have you had the car since it was new? Is it possible a mechanic used the car during a service? Did anyone ever borrow the car? Was it ever left unlocked during a vacation? He replied to first comment, the ironic thing is I am an auto mechanic by trade. I work at a medium-sized independent shop and they allow us to use the facility on our own vehicles after hours. So I have done 100% of the maintenance on the car. And I wash and clean the car pretty often, so there is no way I would have missed it on a previous cleaning. Second comment was, also get tested. He replied to second comment, good thought. Thanks. Oh man, I am shaking right now. Third comment was, being at the gym for 3 hours a day was already probable cause to suspect cheating. Working out just doesn't take that long. Unless the gym is 45 minutes away. He replied to third comment. She goes to a class, then after weight trains by herself and then does cardio on the treadmill or Stairmaster. I have been to the gym with her and I can see it can take 3 hours total. Fourth comment was, this broke my heart to read. You sound like a really wonderful man and you don't deserve any of this. I was cheated on. No one deserves this type of pain. So everyone is saying lawyer up. Catch her in the act. Take her down. Yes, you should do the lawyer part, which I know is so painful. Realizing I needed to hire a lawyer was excruciating for me. But honestly, a personal therapist is equally as necessary and productive. I could not do what was right for me. I could not stand up for myself. I would not know how to grieve or mourn my fiancé. I could not have done anything without therapy. He replied to fourth comment. Thanks for the kind words. All this is so unfamiliar to me. Lawyers, therapists. I do know where to start. He posted an update after next day. Lots of folks asked for an update. Not a whole lot to say, but things are getting interesting. I'm shaking as I type this. Thanks to everyone in the comments and the DMs for the empathy and well wishes. A lot of good tips and advice too. Man, I would hate to piss some of you off. Some of you are vindictive. First off, I found a wrapper, not an actual used condom, so the suggestion of DNA testing was not useful. And thanks to Dano for the information about getting detailed phone records from Visible. Today at work during some break time I requested a download of the phone records, but it says the request could take up to 45 days. I can't wait that long. I also drove by her work on my lunch break. I don't know why or what I expected, but her car was there as it normally is. Lots of good advice to track her: get a VAR, look at her phone without her knowing, hire an investigator, a lawyer, etc. I can't deal with this. I am taking the advice a lot of you had, and I'm just going to confront her today when she gets home. As some of you suggested, I plan to just put the condom wrapper on the table in plain sight and watch her body language. I'm so scared and nervous I am almost pissing my pants. I'm really starting to expect the worst. For me, if she cheated, there is zero chance we will stay married. Zero. I don't care what excuses or reasons or whatever she has, I am 100% done. No therapy, no counseling, nothing. I can't believe I am typing this. Makes it seem real. I can't imagine her sucking and fucking some other guy or guys. That's an image I could never get out of my head for the rest of my life. As far as assets, we don't have a lot. We have a pretty nice house that her dad helped us pay for. I'm happy to let her have it with my fair share and paying back her father. Otherwise is bullshit, like 2 cars, some furniture and some decent savings that we have both contributed to, so I'm willing to split 50-50. The thought of divorce is burning a pit in my gut. I'll post again after I confront her. Either way, I think this thing comes to a conclusion tonight. Mini update, same post a few hours later. Mini update, okay. Instead of sitting here pissing my pants, I wanted to just type few more things to keep busy. I'm sitting here trying to find any other reason to doubt her. The wrapper, it was fairly pristine. Not something stuck on a shoe or sitting in a parking lot. Dashcam, yes, I've checked the dashcam footage. Nothing suspicious or out of the ordinary. Commutes to work, the gym and home. Maybe a stop or two for typical errands. Grocery store cleaners. Zero suspicious activity. But she knows there is a dashcam too, so who knows? Maybe she's just being really careful. The car? Yes, we bought it used 2 years ago. It is a 2018 Infiniti Q60 Coupe. It had an extremely small back seat. I can't imagine sex back there, but who knows what motivated people might be capable of. I clean and vacuum it at least once a month, so there is zero chance it has been there the whole time. Ironically, we usually wash the cars together, but this time I happened to be doing it alone. Had she been there, this whole thing would probably be over now. Our current state of relationship, it's really strong as far as I know. She comes home, we share a glass of wine while we make dinner together, talk about our day, cuddle on the couch if we watch a show. We really have what anyone from the outside would be jealous. No feelings of distance, no hiding of phone, and no drop-off in sex, which has always been and still is great. Her gym time, with as much as she does, it is really reasonable for her to spend 2.5 hours at the gym. I've gone with her. I've seen her work out. It's pretty extensive and her body shows it. I am so proud of how great she looks and how she takes such good care of herself and encourages me and cares about our health. I've never been suspicious about it, maybe foolishly. Yes, she comes home and showers right away, but she's typically sweaty and feels gross. She doesn't avoid me when she walks in. She will typically come over and greet me with a kiss on the lips and then hit the shower. If she was just having sex with a side piece, I think she would be more discreet. We spend almost all of our time together on the weekends. Go for a jog, date nights, happy hour with friends, dinners with family, etc. She has a lot of girlfriends from work and they sometimes go out for a girls' night like once every 2 months. But again, nothing suspicious. I see the credit card charges, so I don't believe she is hiding anything. And her girlfriends are all awesome and I love hanging out with them and their husbands/BFs. I'm torn and getting nervous about talking to her tonight, but I gotta get this over with. Let's read some relevant comments before start posted update. First comment was, "So sorry you were going through this. Among other things, I would make sure you have a good support system and keep them in the loop." He replied to first comment, "The crazy thing is that my best support system is her family. I am very close to her mom and dad and love them like my own parents. They have been so good to me from the beginning. And her younger sister, 29F, and her BF are my best friends. I hate to think I could lose all that too. I come from a borderline abusive situation and I'm not at all close to my family. We are cordial at best." Second comment was, "Have an out prepared. Stay with a friend, rent a hotel room for the night. just in case it gets ugly. Don't go in blind and unprepared. He replied to second comment. Yeah. I'm not violent or aggressive or anything, so there is zero chance of anything getting physical. And I wouldn't kick her out. I still love her and want her to be safe. I would leave instead if it even comes to that. Third comment was, why you haven't snooped her phone yet is beyond me. Multiple threads on here, but not even one peek at her communications. What a waste. OP is gonna just let her set the stage and never even bother to know the truth. He replied to third comment was, I found the rapper day before yesterday and haven't had a chance to check her phone since. Not sure I want to. He posted an update after 10 hours later. This should be my final post on this topic. I took a lot of your advice and decided to just confront her tonight. Sorry for the length, but it was a lot. My wife came home from the gym about 6:45 like always. I was sitting at the kitchen table alone. She came over, said hi, kissed me on the lips and went off to take a shower pretty much like usual. I'm Angel. When she came over to kiss me, I smelled really hard for any evidence of man sense. Cologne, soap, deodorant, sweat, anything. I got nothing. As she showered, I sat by myself, a ball of anxiety, and damn near chickened out. She got out of the shower and came into the kitchen, wet hair, sweats, t-shirt, looking beautiful as usual. She sat down like we always do and expected to chat about our day. She could see immediately something was wrong. She asked what's up. I was shaking and so nervous like you cannot believe. I asked, have you lent your car to anyone recently? No. Have you had any passengers in your car the last few weeks? She thought for a second and said no. I asked, has anyone besides you or me been in your car the last few weeks? She said no. What the hell is going on? I asked to see her phone. She looked at me weird, said okay and just slid the phone to me across the table, no hesitation, and said, what the fuck is going on? I didn't touch her phone. I took the condom wrapper out of my pocket and set it on the table. She looked at it but had no real visible reaction. I didn't say a word. After a few seconds she said, what the hell is that? I said, it's a condom wrapper. She said, it's obviously a condom wrapper. What the fuck is a condom wrapper doing on our kitchen table? She was starting to get annoyed. She is either a really good actor or she sincerely had no idea what was happening. I told her I found it under her car seat while I was cleaning her car. She honestly looked dumbfounded. She said she had no idea how it got there. She really seemed sincere and was starting to get concerned. She asked if I thought it was hers. I said, I'm not sure, is it? She said, you have got to be kidding me. You seriously think I'm fucking around on you? Are you crazy? What the hell is wrong with you? She took her phone and waved it at me and said, here. Please. Look at my phone. Call my sister, who she shares everything with. Call any of my friends. I'm not sure what you want me to say. We sat in silence, very uncomfortable for a minute or two. I didn't take my eyes off her, looking for any sign like a tear. I said, what would you think if the roles were reversed? She admitted she would probably be suspicious but would give me the benefit of the doubt. She literally went through every day the past couple of weeks, where she went, who she was with, what she was doing, trying to come up with any explanation. She finally remembered an after-work thing that they did for a friend of hers, a baby shower kind of thing at a restaurant after work. One of the girls at her office was invited but couldn't go, and so she asked my wife to please take her gifts to the party. My wife said sure. They walked down to my wife's car to put the gifts in, and my wife's stuff was in the front passenger seat. As I said, the car she drives, Infiniti Q60, has a tiny back seat, and access to that back seat is ridiculously difficult. As her friend was putting the gifts in, she spilled her purse all over the floor behind the passenger seat. That was the only possibility she could think of. As I sat there, she insisted we call that friend immediately, and she did just that. She put her friend on speakerphone. She asked her if she remembered when she spilled her purse. She answered yes. She asked if she was sure she got everything picked up off the floor. She answered, I think so. Why? My wife then seriously asks, do you and BF's name use condoms? Her friend kind of chuckled and said yes. My wife asks what brand, and she answered Trojans. Same size too. My wife looked straight into my eyes and asked, when you dumped your purse in my car, is there a chance there were condoms in it? Her friend said yes, it's not unusual for me to have condoms in my purse. Why? My wife told her friend about the wrapper. Her friend said she doesn't know why she would have an empty wrapper in her purse, but it is certainly possible. She hung up the phone and looked at me and asked if I would like to go through her phone. I said no, and she asked, mystery solved? I literally started crying. I was crying because I was so fucking relieved. I was crying because I am married to the most awesome woman in the world who loves me more than anything. And I was crying because I was racked with guilt that I thought she could be cheating. I felt miserable for how I must have made her feel. My incredible wife took it so well. She hit me with her dish towel and said, "Jesus Christ. I cannot believe you could think I would cheat on you." But she admitted again she may have felt the same in my shoes. She even laughed a little and said it was kind of cute that I was so jealous and nervous about asking her about it. We decided to have our glass of wine and go out for dinner. At dinner we talked about how excited we were to start trying for a baby. I am 100,000% sure she is telling the truth. I know her. I know her like nobody else. I know her body language. I know her voice and how it sounds when she is stressed or hiding something. There was none of that. I hope none of you have to go through this, but thanks for all the well wishes. I will probably let my wife read this thread at some point, but not while it's still so fresh. Plus she'll probably rib me for going to Reddit for advice. She's not necessarily a fan. So all is good. Really, really good. Have a great life, everyone. Let's read some relevant comments before start next posted update. First comment was, "Phew. Glad it all worked out, you both know what you have now." He replied to first comment, "She is the best. Our relationship has always been so strong, now I am kicking myself for ever even thinking the worst." Second comment was, "Stay off Reddit, dude. I've seen too many posts where the toxicity of this place ruins relationships." He replied to second comment, "My wife feels the same way. I haven't shown her these posts yet, but I will when it's not so raw. I'm sure she'll roll her eyes and scold me for being on Reddit." Third comment was, "To be blunt, I don't think you should show your wife these posts. She's forgiven you this time, but you were so far removed from giving her the benefit of the doubt you were considering stalking your wife instead of just talking to her. That is unacceptable. I think you need to do a bit of self-examination of why your initial reaction to something fairly mundane was so strong, and stay away from asking for advice on sites like this." He replied to third comment, "You could be right. But honestly, I don't think finding a condom wrapper in your partner's car is fairly mundane. Maybe that's just me." Fourth comment was, "It's incredibly mundane. Could have been stuck to a shoe or, as is the case, was dropped by a friend. So why did you immediately jump to checking her dashcam footage? Driving by her work? Mentally preparing for divorce and dividing assets? She's forgiven you right now because she doesn't know you did those things, and that you had so little faith in her you were considering paying for a PI. That would be a relationship ender, personally." He replied to fourth comment, "Yeah, you make a lot of sense. My initial reaction wasn't the best and I'm sort of embarrassed by it all now. You just can't imagine how scrambled my brain was." Fifth comment was, "I knew it. As soon as you laid out your relationship details in the previous update, I had a suspicion it wasn't cheating. There are almost always some sort of changes, increase/decrease in affection, increase/decrease in outward confidence, schedule changes, etc. Either your wife was going to be one of the most impressive, for lack of a better word, cheaters in the world who made the biggest, dumbest oversight, or it was going to be something else. Very glad it panned out this way. Your wife sounds cool as hell also." He replied to fifth comment, "So true. Man, I now feel kind of foolish and guilty for immediately jumping to such an extreme conclusion with literally zero reason or signs. But the mind is a funny thing. She forgave me right away. We got back from dinner last night and she called her sister and started with, 'You're never going to believe what this knucklehead thought. She's a keeper and I'm a lucky guy.'" Sixth comment was, "The biggest takeaway I got from your post is that you were seriously overthinking and spiraling, and created a fake scenario in your head. Any past traumas? Abandonment issues?" He replied to sixth comment, "Wow. You're so right. I feel foolish and guilty for jumping to the most extreme conclusion immediately with zero previous signs or reasons. Trauma? I don't know. I could probably stand some therapy. I had a pretty weird childhood. We moved a lot and never had money or nice things. My parents stayed together but didn't have a very loving relationship. I didn't get a lot of attention when I was a kid cause my parents always seemed to be dealing with their own problems. Not a lot of time for kids. That probably fucked me up. I do have a great relationship with my parents today. I'd say we are cordial at best. My wife's parents are much more like my parents than my own. I absolutely adore them and they would do anything for me." He posted in last bonus update after 3 days later, "I am a guy that found a condom wrapper in his wife's car." You can read the posts and updates on my profile. The condom situation had a happy ending, but my initial reaction upon finding the wrapper was concerning to both my wife and I. We have a really solid relationship both physically and emotionally. In our 10+ years of our relationship, she has never given me any indication of anything other than 100% love, faithfulness and devotion to me. Despite this, my reaction was to immediately jump to the worst-case scenario and it really caused me to panic and spiral. You can read the panic in my posts. My wife has been so understanding and supportive and we have talked a lot. First off, she reiterated that if I ever have any concerns about anything, I need to talk to her. But otherwise we talked a lot about why this was my initial thought. We talked about the fact that I have always considered her just absolutely beautiful and way more attractive than me. We talked about how she constantly garners the attention of guys whenever we are out in a social situation. Movies, bars, restaurants, I constantly see the eyes of men on her. And with good reason. She is a 12 out of 10. I mean that in all seriousness. Guys are surprised when they see her and realize she is with me. I think, no, I am insecure, anxious, defensive, and lack confidence about that specific aspect of our relationship. She says I am crazy. She has eyes only for me, showers me with love, physical affection and attention when we are out. Makes it obvious she is not interested in flirting with anyone. She is unfazed and unimpressed with guys' attention or flirty comments. She says I am wrong about my looks and she thinks no man on earth is better looking than me. So here's the crux. Would I benefit from therapy? Single therapy or couples? Any kind of therapist I should be looking for? I'm really willing to give this a try. Let's read some relevant comments. Comment was, your post made me cry because I sincerely wish my husband had shared your introspection and willingness to change. He was kind of like you, thought I was out of his league even though I sincerely thought he was sexy and handsome and I only had eyes for him, never even came close to cheating on him but I was constantly accused. I definitely think therapy would benefit you. If individual or couples would be better, but I wish you and your marriage the best. He replied to the comment, thanks so much for your thoughtful reply. She is my world and I just think subconsciously I feel that I somehow lucked out with her settling for me. I know she doesn't feel that way and she has told me often. She really is crazy for me. It's just troubling I guess knowing every time we go out it that 90% of the men there would love to bang her. It's intimidating if that makes sense. There's always this sense of dread that she can have any guy she wants and someday she's going to choose someone else. He replies to a long comment. Thanks for this. Yes, I think I am pretty self-aware and understand precisely what my insecurities are. I am just wanting some tools to help me navigate and get more confidence in myself. My wife is really helping now that she understands better. I do think she really knew I felt until this incident, which is on me. I never really discussed it with her before. One more thought from he. I wonder if I have some PTSD from how I grew up. Fear of abandonment. I don't know. You could never know today by knowing me how I grew up. I thought that part of my life was totally behind me. Who knows? Thank you for listening the story to the end. If you enjoy our videos so don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good day and if you haven't subscribed yet please do it and hit the notification bell icon to stay updated with more shocking real life stories happening around you.